Hey Bulldogs, Chris Bryant here. Glad to be back with you here today for a CCNA and CCENT quiz lab. I'm going to have a practice exam question up for you in just a moment about OSPF commands and adjacencies. And I admit that isn't exactly narrowing it down, but there we are. And even if you think you know the answer, stick around because we've got plenty of great lab work, especially with OSPF, and a couple of very helpful commands I want to show you. Very quick word about my CCNA video boot camp, and I mean very quick. Just want to let you know that in April we're donating $5 for every sign up to the Central Virginia Food Bank. The food banks tend to have a rough time this time of year as summer approaches, especially with spring just approaching. It's just beautiful outside after a 17-month winter for a lot of us. And the thing is, the food banks don't get the donations they do, say, at the holiday season, but hunger is a 12-month-a-year situation, and we're going to help the food bank do something about it with a little help from you as well. So you get a world-class CCNA education, and you're helping to feed someone at the same time. That's a pretty good deal. Let's go ahead and hop into today's question, which is, and by the way, on YouTube, I'll put a link to that course in there so you can go over and check it out. Today's question, how can you double the OSPF dead time without directly changing it? And here I think we'll go ahead and assume a broadcast network. How can you double the OSPF dead timer on an interface that's part of a broadcast network without directly changing it? Extra credit. What should you look out for when changing an OSPF interface timer? We're going to see this live on the lab, and this is definitely extra credit you'll want to earn. Even if you don't know it right now, you'll want to see this in action. Let's go ahead and dive in here, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me scooch that over just a little bit. Two commands that I want to review with you here: show IP OSPF neighbor and show IP OSPF interface, in this case E0. I love these commands. First off, when you're troubleshooting or you're building an OSPF lab, you got to know if you have your adjacencies, right? And the only way to really know that, or the quickest way to know it, is show IP OSPF neighbor. Now, show IP OSPF interface, I love this command because you can follow that command with the name of the interface, and it's going to give you a wealth of information. And here you can see on Ethernet 0, it's telling you, first off, it's leading off with the physical and logical state of the interface. We like that. It's going to give you the IP address of that interface, what OSPF process ID it's using or it's part of, the local router RID, which in this case is different than the IP address on this interface, and you need to know why. If you don't, search around YouTube because I've got some videos on that for you. Network type is broadcast, OSPF cost is 10, so a lot of great information here. And about 2/3 of the way down, you see timer intervals configured, hello 10, dead 40. Well, the thing is with hello and dead timers is that by default, your OSPF dead timer is going to be 4 times that of the hello timer. Now you can use the IP OSPF dead interval command to change the dead timer directly, but that's not what we want to do here. We want to double the dead timer without directly changing it. So what we would do is set the hello timer to 20, right? Because then 4 times that would be 80. That would be doubling the dead timer as well. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll show you all these commands right here as well. Make a little video boot camp out of this too. You've got a couple of commands here you should be familiar with. The big one really is hello interval right there in the middle. Time between hello packets. You usually just see it expressed as IP OSPF hello, but the full command is hello interval. And then it's going to tell you to put it in seconds. Always check when you're putting in a time value, because sometimes it's seconds, sometimes it's minutes and seconds. There's no real way to memorize all those commands. So let's put that at 20, and then let's run our Ethernet interface command here again. And you can see there near the bottom, timer intervals configured, hello 20, dead 80. So we were successful in that. Now the extra credit question was, what do we have to be worried about when we change these timers? And since I've already scrolled through to show IP OSPF neighbor, this should give you a clue. Now we still have the adjacency, but notice that dead timer is all the way down to 12 seconds. So we might have a problem there because it's not getting refreshed and we are 1 second from disaster. Sounds like a 50s science fiction movie, but really, I think we've already lost the adjacency. Now we're not getting anything when we run a show command, and as I like to say, if you run a show command and it doesn't show you anything, that's because there's nothing for you to see. We lost our adjacency. Why did that happen? Well, we only changed one thing, so in this case it's pretty easy to tell what happened. The timer mismatch caused us to lose the adjacency. But let's say that we were in a lab and we just did 2 or 3 things. We put an ACL in and we did this, we changed the hello timer, and then we did something else for a lab. Well, how could we tell exactly what's causing the problem? This is a great debug. It's one thing I wish someone had told me to run more debugs in labs when I was studying for the NA and the NP and the I and anything else. So now because it really shows you what's going on, you're not having to guess. So here, we're getting some messages on the screen about receiving a hello. So if we had put ACLs in, like I said, you might think, well, maybe the ACL is blocking the hello, packet. But it's not, because the debug shows we're actually receiving it. The debug then kindly goes on to say, hey, the hello parameters are mismatched. I mean, that's as plain as it's ever going to get. And anytime you see these values not match, you've got dead R40, C80, and then hello, R10, C20. When these numbers aren't the same, you have a problem. So, how can we solve the problem? We're just going to put the timer back. I'm going to leave the debug running so you can see the entire process, or what's going to happen when we do that. Now, I could have put no IP OSPF hello 20 and it would have gone back to the default as well. And let's just leave our debug running, and at the same time, this is probably going to be a lot of stuff. There we go. We don't have anything going on, but all of a sudden, there's our init stage. We see that zing by, and the debugs are going to move the screen here a little bit, but that's okay. You can see here's our initial stage. Let me turn that off. I usually save that for last. That's my last lecture to you for the day. But here, you can see here's the init stage. We've received our database, and all of a sudden, two-way communication. Once you see two-way communication, you're really just about good to go. And here's our BDR-DR election going on, and we're just about done at that point. So if I run show IP OSPF neighbor here, you can see that we have our adjacency up. Our dead time is at 38 seconds. And what's going to happen here, you should not see that drop below 30. Notice how it went from 30 and then to 38, because we're expecting to get a hello every 10 seconds. In that case, if we'd seen 25 seconds, we'd say, uh-oh, something else is wrong. But that is all there is to it right there. So that's the answers to the 2 questions. And what I wanted to mention to you here, whether you're in a lab or whether you're at a client site, always turn your debugs off when you're done. You can turn them off individually with no debug and then just follow with the rest of the debug name, or you can use, as I call it, the Southern command and just say uall, short for undebug all, and you are ready to go. Thanks so much for taking today's video practice exam and quiz lab. A lot of good OSPF commands there. Got some free CCNA success tools on the board for you as well. And also on YouTube and on the website, we'll have a link out to the video boot camp so you can check that out and help us help out the food bank. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chris Bryant, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.